Nets hosting the Jazz. Kyrie made his first 4 shots, then attacking Rudy Gobert, the 2-time NBA Defensive Player of the Year. So he's 5 for 5. Scraping off a pick and drilling a 3-ball. He's 6 for 6 in the first quarter. Nets by 18. Kyrie again. Got it. 7 for 7 in the first. Over the last quarter century, no Nets player has done better. Kyrie finished with 29. Let's get to the Jared Allen portion of the highlight. This guy gets better by the minute. Just 22 years old, savagely going after Gobert there with a throwdown. DeAndre Jordan had been the starting center until last night. Jared Allen has just been better. Got the start last night, got the minutes, and rewarded his team. The block here on Gobert, and then running the floor. Off the miss, go get it, Jared Allen. 19 points, 18 rebounds. Said he switched up his pasta, went Alfredo instead of pesto. Big help. Nets big over the Jazz. Let's get back to Kyrie. Not only did he make all 7 shots in the first quarter, all 7 of those shots were contested. 0 gimmies. According to Second Spectrum, that's tied for the second most contested makes without a miss in a single quarter over the last.
How much pressure is on KD this season?
Honestly speaking, y'all gonna think I'm crazy. I'm gonna give it about a 5. I don't think there's that much pressure on KD at all. KD's got to show, listen, if it's all about KD's health. KD's health, because he's coming off of an Achilles, which is the worst injury you could come off of as a basketball player. That, to me, buys him a little bit of latitude. Now, he can't go out and stick up the joint. He can't come out and average 20 instead of 25, 26, 27. I understand that, but I think that's where his obligation is going to lie. Outside of that, I think Kyrie Irving and the kind of attention that he has brought to himself, I think because of that, that's a huge distraction potentially for the Brooklyn Nets. And I think when people look at KD, they're going to be looking to see how healthy he is. That's it, because they know what he can do if he's healthy. In the case of Brooklyn, in terms of locker room cohesiveness, being together, focused on the task at hand, etc., I think a lot of that attention and pressure is going to be on the shoulders of Kyrie Irving. That's the only reason that I threw out a 5.
Well, someone might throw out a 5 for those reasons, but not you. You are not allowed to do that because on this show, well, let me back facing 9 in terms of pressure, because if he was healthy, it'd be a 10. He came to the media capital of the world, Brooklyn, USA, with Kyrie Irving, and they got Dinwiddie, and they got LeVert. They got guys who can play. I'd say a 10, but coming off an Achilles, I'll go down off that 10. But there's a guy named Stephen A. Smith who on the most popular sports talk show in the country is talking about every time you turn around, turn on First Take, there's Stephen A. Smith. Kevin Durant is 7 feet tall with a 7'6" wingspan. He could average 25 in his sleep. That's you saying that stuff. And guess what? As a result, people are expecting KD to come out and ball. And if KD is averaging 25 in his sleep and Kyrie's there and those other dudes are there, Brooklyn has to do well. Is there pressure on KD this season? Yes, there is. Less than if you weren't there saying he could average 25 in his sleep and the Achilles doesn't matter. But you do have to factor that in. I'm going to say a 9. Not a 10 because of the injury, but not a 5 because of Stephen A. Smith.
Okay, Pete, before you go, only let me add this point. I have zero concerns. Zero that KD is going to average at least 25 a game. Zero. That's why I didn't even think about the pressure, because everything else is on Kyrie to me. Well, go ahead.
Well, Stephen A., I feel like you getting soft today. You gave Kevin Durant a 5. I was going to give him a 10, but since his injury, I'm going to give him a 9 with Max for the simple fact, not only did he go to the bright lights, the Big Apple, New York City, but he left a dynasty. Arguably the best team ever assembled. He had everything he needed in Golden State, and you left there to prove to the world that, hey, I'm going to take my talent elsewhere and show y'all that I could win without Steph Curry. So with that being said, knowing that you were coming back off an injury, you chose to go and team up with one of your besties, Kyrie Irving, and I get that. But now you have to deliver, especially in New York. So I understand that Kevin Durant is coming off an Achilles injury. I get it. But the pressure is still there. The pressure is there for him to deliver. The pressure is there for them to at least get to the finals. So the pressure is a 9 for me, Stephen A. You being soft this morning.
Well, listen, first of all, I have the perfect excuse for being soft because I'm going to be on General Hospital, which is a soap opera. If there's any excuse to be soft, that would be it for this particular moment in time, KP. That's number one. But number two, that's as a gangster. That's true. That's true.
But in all seriousness, as a romantic lead, you're a killer on that show.
You know, they working on that. Stay tuned. They working on that. But number two, let me get to my other point here, okay?
I got you.
Year 2 of KD playing, like, for example, I think the pressure mounts to a 10 for the 2021-22 season. Right now, I think that people are going to be looking to see what his health is like. But outside of that, they're going to look at Kyrie because of all that Kyrie has entailed. Just a couple of weeks ago, we were all sitting here talking about, what kind of distraction is Kyrie going to be? Is Kyrie going to get in the way of this team's success? Blah, blah, blah. You in the media capital world. You inviting this kind of scrutiny, these headlines, these distractions. Because of all of that is why I diminished the level of pressure on KD for this year. Outside of him having to show he can still average 25 again, which I have zero doubt he will do. That's why I'm looking at it as a little less pressure.
When we say pressure, the real question is pressure to go how far? You know, if you tell me there's 5, the pressure's on a 5 on KD, if they lose in the first round of the playoffs, no, they can't do that. What are we talking about? Pressure to get to the finals? Maybe I'll go down to an 8 or something like that because of what you just mentioned about Kyrie. I think that's valid. But they have to make a playoff run. Year one, these two guys have to make a playoff run because everyone acknowledges, even off the Achilles, best player on the team is KD. It's his team.
Go ahead, Kendrick.
Well, I mean, listen,
Kendrick?
Max, I have to disagree with you on this one for the simple fact Brooklyn has all the pieces. When you look at them on paper, they got 2 certified centers in DeAndre Jordan and Allen. They have LeVert, who's a rising star in my opinion. They have Dinwiddie. They have Joe Harris. They have all the pieces of a championship team. So just make. Yeah, but he's one of the better shooters in today's game, Max. So, yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yep.
They have
Yep.
everything that they
Yep.
need. So for you to say just for them to make a playoff run, I can't honor that. Now, for them, their expectations, in my opinion, is to at least make it to the finals. So we'll see throughout the course of this season if KD is healthy or not. And from what my eyes showed me in the preseason game when KD stepped out on the floor, he's looked just fine to me.
Quick question.
All right, let's get to the fifth player here, guys. Now,
Molly, I just want to ask Kendrick just one quick question. You being on a championship team, how important do you believe, Kendrick, is locker room chemistry and minimal distractions?
Well, I think it's very huge. But again, this is why Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving teamed up together, because they're great friends. So if it's one person that we think that Kyrie will listen to, it's Kevin Durant, right?
Yeah. Okay.
all right.
Okay.
Let's get